My embarrassing story is actually an accomplishment. The accomplishment is that I trimmed my beard today for the first time in my adult life. And this is not a normal milestone to hit at 37, right? Like most people who have beards have learned how to trim them long before they are my age. So why was it that I was only able to get it done today? Well, I think it's linked to my experiences as an autistic man. As somebody who's autistic, I experience life sort of through what I like to call the lens of peaks and valleys. I have these peaks, which are things that I can do really well, in some cases better than a lot of other people. But I also have these valleys, which are things that I really struggle with. And I struggle with to a degree that is very surprising given everything else. I think a lot of neurotypical people, they're maybe a little bit more consistent, right? Like they can kind of do everything around the same level. Not to say that that's true of every neurotypical person, but it's maybe more common. But for autistic people, at least for myself, it can feel like there can be such a huge gap between the peak and the valley, right? Like I can do things that I'm very proud of, very impressive things, right? I can write a book, I can become a psychologist, I can put out YouTube videos that people want to watch. But also when it comes to trying to trim my beard, that was a thing that I struggled with for a long, long time. I think partially it was the fact that part of my autism is a dysgraphia or a small motor difficulty, and so I've always struggled with writing neatly or folding things in arts and crafts. And so to try to do kind of an artwork on my own face that's supposed to look neat, supposed to look good, if I mess up, well, then everybody can see that. It kind of provoked this anxiety, and it kind of, I think triggered a shame because, again, this doesn't feel like it ought to be hard. And so I was like, well, what if I try this and I fail and it doesn't look good? That's going to feel shameful. That's going to feel embarrassing. I'm just going to avoid this. And for a long time, I did avoid this. The point is that if you are a neurodivergent person and you're watching this and you also experience life through this lens of peaks and valleys, where there's some things that you can do really well and there's other things that you're like, I struggle so much with this. Why? I want to inform you that, like, number one, you're not alone in that. And number two, you have nothing to be ashamed of for that. Having a valley doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean laziness. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. The neurodivergent experience is an experience of having higher highs and lower lows in a lot of areas of life. And I think it's important to recognize that, to give yourself grace for that. Find pride in your high highs during the moments where you're struggling with one of your low lows.